You cannot be afraid to use your voice when you are telling your truth. So, trigger warning, mature audience is advised. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and we're going to be talking about surviving abuse in this video. It is going to be a very touchy subject. You're being warned and advised. The only reason why narcissistic people feel entitled to abuse people, to harm people, is because people that they've hurt are enabling their behavior. And no, I'm not here to invalidate your experience. I'm not here to condone the abuse. I'm not here to justify what has happened to you. But the only reason why these people continue to inflict and cause pain onto others is because you are afraid. They have shamed you, they have blackmailed you, and some of them may have tried to threaten you. The only reason why you feel this way about yourself and are afraid is because you are suppressing what has happened to you. When it comes to your healing journey, when it's time for you to let go of what no longer resonates with you and serves you, you have to be willing to tell on yourself and the witnesses and what has been done to you. These people are not powerful. When you have to manipulate energy to control someone, you are weak, you are unworthy, and you are powerless. The victims at the time have the power and the control. And the reason why I'm saying at the time is because it's not the things that happen to us that causes us to stay stuck and stagnant. It's our reaction to the experience. And of course, disclaimer, nobody wants to be touched on inappropriately by their family members. Nobody wants to be in poverty. No one wants to be verbally attacked or abused. Nobody wants to be lied on. Nobody wants to be neglected or abandoned or beaten. But until people learn to speak their truth, until people learn to speak up about what has happened to them, people are going to continue to sweep things underneath the rug. People are going to have skeletons in their closet. And the most narcissistic and wicked people are going to think and feel like they have control over people. When it comes to your healing journey, you have to be able to identify what has happened to you, how it's made you feel, and you have to be unapologetically, I don't know why I can't say that word, yourself. Meaning, when it's time for you to tell your story, you have to be bold. You're not the only person who has a sad story to tell, including myself. Not only do I make these videos for me, I make these videos for you because I'm not afraid. Now, of course, I'm not telling you to come online onto social media and air out all your business. But when it's time for you to confide in your therapist, me, your favorite mental health specialist, or authority, or somebody who is going to help you, you have to express vulnerability. You have to tell every detail in the story. And a lot of the times, the reason why people become victims is because the lack of awareness, the lack of love, the lack of guidance, the lack of education, the lack of resources. So when you lack these things, or if you've never been exposed to certain realities or certain people, places, and things, you are naive, you are innocent, and you are ignorant. And even the people who have caused the abusing were abused. It's a cycle. I am aware that this is a generational issue and this is a bigger problem, but because we are only responsible for ourselves, and you come across this video, we have to start with ourselves. In order for the world to change, you have to be the change that you want to see. So this is why I make these videos, once again, for myself and for you. But you cannot be afraid to expose the people who touched on you inappropriately. I don't care if it was your family members. I don't care if it was your neighbor. You cannot be afraid to talk about the people who gang stalk you. I don't care if it's your coworkers. I don't care if it's your classmates. You can't be afraid to talk about the people who have bullied you. You cannot be afraid to talk about certain family members who neglected you, who emotionally and verbally attacked you, who spread lies and talked and gossiped about you. You speaking your truth is going to allow you to receive the justice that you've been looking for. But I'm telling you from experience, when it's time for you to speak, you cannot be afraid. The only problem that people are going to have is that they're going to be seen for who they are. When you know you were genuine, when you know you didn't have negative intentions or malicious intent to harm or intentionally cause confusion onto others, you don't have nothing to worry about. You don't need to continue to live your life in fear. There are a lot of illusions and division and corruption in this world because people are suppressing how they feel. And I'm here to make this video that I'm not suppressing how I feel. When it's time for me to speak, everybody is going to go down with me. And that's what you need to know. When you tell your truth, tell on yourself. Tell on yourself where you were wrong. Tell on yourself when you were right. Tell on those people when they were wrong. Tell on those people when you're right. People love to say that there's two sides to the story. There's only one side, and that side is the truth. Now, of course, when you're narrating a story, there could be different perspectives, but the story does not change when the truth is being told. The truth does not need to be denied. The truth does not need to be explained. Once you say how you feel, do not go back and forth about other people. Do not worry about people who judge you and talk about you, because the only people who are going to shame you are the people who are not in your position. Like myself, as I'm putting myself on here on the internet, people are going to be entitled. People are going to gossip. First of all, nobody's telling them to watch me. Second of all, they don't have control over my life. So whatever they think about me is not my business. And most importantly, people judge other people for things that they know that if they were in the public eye or if they were in the hot seat, they would not be able to take it. So don't worry about the peanut gallery. Do not worry about people who enable their abuse as well. That's why narcissists have to get groups of other low vibrational and powerless people to come together, because individually they are weak. They are weak. They are the lowest forms of vibrations of this earth. Nobody could blackmail me. Nobody's going to threaten me. And you don't need to be afraid. And you see, when you're not afraid, when you know who you are spiritually and energetically, you don't have nothing to worry about. Especially if you believe in the gods, ancestors, and universe. Even if you do, even if you don't. If you don't know, we don't force religion onto people. People are allowed to do as they please. But when you come across these videos and you like, comment, share, subscribe, and they resonate with you, you have to tell the truth. If people have a problem with you telling your truth, they shouldn't have did what they did. Now, of course, this is not to paint a perfect picture and say that people don't make mistakes or that we don't learn from our lessons or that certain things happen to us because we just want them to, but to be mature and to move on and to accept what was done. Now, unless you're dealing with health-related issues, 99% of the time, you're going to be able to move forward, or death. Those are two different topics for two different videos that take more energy to overcome from. But everything else that you've experienced, you are allowed to let go. So when you do decide to let these things go, take your time. It's going to be shocking and traumatic in the moment, because the longer you hold on to what has happened to you, the longer you're suffering. The more you learn to tell your truth and to be honest and to be bold and strong, the people who did what they did cannot do anything to you. And even if people say that they're going to do this and that, if they're going to do those things, they're going to do it. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. But if you know who you are, you know what you believe in, the only things that are going to happen are the things that are going to happen because they're supposed to. Do not allow people who are not you to shame you or make you feel embarrassed or guilty about the things that you went through. But I'm telling you right now, when you tell your truth, say what has happened to you. Do not argue with people, because speaking from experience, what I've realized from my own personal trauma, these people that are toxic, narcissistic, low vibrational, want to be in power so bad, they're going to deny it anyways. You speaking your truth is not for clarity or for closure. It's for your peace of mind. Once you tell your truth, cut these people off, learn to forgive yourself, because that's the thing. When you are 7 years old and you're getting touched on inappropriately by your family members, you may not know that's not okay, that is inappropriate. People are aware of what they've done. I did not know that that was okay. That was not normal when those things happen to me, when those things happen to you. But I'm not afraid to talk about who did what and how it made me feel. And when it comes to you, if people didn't want certain things to happen, they shouldn't have projected it or did it to you. Do not become the people that harm us. And I'm speaking from experience. People who are miserable, people who do not talk about what they've done, people who do not do the healing, they try to latch on and leech on to others. And trigger warning, I'm going to make this into a separate video. It's a lot that needs to be talked about. The most toxic people on this earth need a lot more healing than the people who are the victims and are choosing to heal. People that have been abused since birth and don't want to do the work, those are the people that need the most love. And you're thinking, why would I love somebody? Because it's a cycle. Like I said, this is a generational, this is a worldwide issue. Now, of course, I'm not a president of any nation, of any states of Americas or providences. I'm only one person. But the people that choose to watch and support me, you're supporting yourself. This is a community. You don't need to be afraid. Nobody, no grown adult, I don't care if they're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Polynesian, Australian, European, it doesn't matter their race, ethnicity, or gender, is going to make you feel bad. Because once again, these same people have skeletons in their closet too. The only difference is that you're learning to accept them so nobody can use information against you. A lot of the times in courts or in situations, people think that whatever you told them, they can say it back to you and make you feel bad. You cannot blackmail me. You cannot make me feel bad about information that I told you. And I know that from firsthand. There have been a lot of, like I said, toxic entities that I've been around. I've been around a lot of darkness, who I would tell them certain things about me and they would repeat it back to me like I didn't just tell them. But because these people are mentally psychotic, emotionally unstable, and traumatized, they don't understand. You do not need to be embarrassed or ashamed. You're not the only person who's been touched on inappropriately. You're not the only person who's been verbally attacked. You're not the only person who's tried to be silent or isolated. And most importantly, when these people do these things, you don't need to sit in a corner and be upset about it. You need to stand the F up and say, you know what? If you're biblical, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and any tongue that comes up against me will be condemned. And if you're not, cut these people off and remove them, because you are a beautiful person. When you have a high vibrational loving spirit inside and out, that triggers what people call demons, which are just unhealed, traumatized children. And if we're being completely honest, nobody is superior than you. Nobody could be better than you because nobody is you. So if people are not showing up in your life to help, inform, and educate you, cut them off. But don't be afraid to tell the truth. Because what happens is the truth is going to be revealed regardless of how people feel. Because they know what they've done. People know what they do. And their time is up. Everything in this life is going to come with the expiration date. So when it's time for you to speak your truth, say it with your chest. Don't worry about the consequences. When you tell your truth, just know you will be free. And everything and everybody who did what they were supposed to do is going to receive justice. I promise you, there's a time and a place when things have to be unfold. All I would inform you is that when you are telling your truth, you have to be patient. You have to be patient. You have to be able to trust yourself, and you have to tell the truth. Don't worry about what people say and do. I don't care who tries to say what. Nothing that's not supposed to happen to you is going to happen. And if I'm going to be completely honest, trigger warning, you are not going to live in this life forever. So the best thing you do for yourself is to live your life, because you only get one time to be you physically like this. It's only one time I'm going to be Ty Guidance in this lifetime. You don't know how long you're going to live and what's going to happen in the future. And I refuse to allow the people, places, and things who harm me to make me feel like I'm not going to live my life. I'm not going to allow anybody to stop me. I don't care what anybody has said about me behind my back, because that's where they're meant to be, behind me. Nobody who has respect will try to harm you or cause you pain. If they cannot apologize but change behavior, cut them off. Create distance. I don't care. Enough is enough. It's tiring. When you were little and you didn't know it was appropriate to be beaten, you don't get to internalize that. Apologize to yourself, learn to make peace with yourself, and keep moving forward. Just because you forgive yourself and the people that wronged you does not mean that you rekindle relationships. It means if it didn't kill you, it's going to make you stronger. You're going to be wiser, and you have boundaries now. That's another side of it. There's so many ways to look at pain and suffering. And if you don't know, we're all about transmuting negative energy into positive energy. But before we can transmute this positive energy, we have to accept what has happened to us, how it's made us feel. So experience and be prepared for withdrawals, crying, yelling, journaling, feeling like you have these mental problems. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just traumatized, and it's time for you to let go of the trauma. If you weren't taught to be loved, if nobody taught you how to defend yourself and you got beaten up, you got to learn that you didn't know what you know now. If you didn't have discernment, if you didn't have 2-parent households that was healthy, if you didn't have loving friends, if you didn't have a loving partner, if people tried to take from you, you didn't know. Now you know. Everything that you went through was for you to become better. So if you're interested in more videos like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because this is a lot. I'm going to end this off here. I'm going to more than likely make this into a playlist, or if you guys want this to be sooner, feel free to ask questions. Let me know your experience. Don't be afraid. Drop part 2 if you guys want me to make this immediately. If not, just know this